Hello, everyone. This is Isaac.
This is Darren.
And we are True Masters Morons.
Playing Darksiders 2. As a quick note, I promise this will be brief. We will not talk about this for the whole half of the episode again, but we do need to make one small address about the geese that we touched on last time. As soon as this room stops trying to kill him in a cutscene. Ooh.
Unacceptable.
You have grabbed its you have grabbed the Forge's attention.
I know. But anyway, so
first
go
things
ahead, Taryn,
first.
make your addendum.
First things first. Isaac and Sarah showed me the video that he mentioned about ducks last time after we filmed that video, and I will now concur that sorry, geese, not ducks. I will now concur.
No,
that
the video was about ducks.
I thought this whole thing was about geese.
The teeth were geese, but
no, it was all the same creature.
No.
It was literally all about the same creature.
No, the video was ducks. The teeth were geese.
Then why are we even discussing this? Because the entire last discussion was about geese.
No, and then at the end I was like, yes, but ducks are worse because of this. And you were like, no, the toothed geese are much worse than...
I would swear up and down that you were that you said geese.
I'm 99% certain I didn't, but I don't know.
Oh.
Whatever. Point still stands.
No,
that
tell
it's
you
worse.
what, guys, we'll be right back. Give us just a second.
And we're back. And I got hit.
All right, so I'm. It's taking too long to go try and search for the actual clip to see who was right, but Sarah is backing Isaac up. So regardless, whatever. I was thinking we were talking about the same creature. You think we weren't? Regardless, I contended that the fanged beak is far more horrifying than the
duck penis.
Than the duck penis. And after watching the video they showed me, I will amend my belief and agree with Isaac that the duck genitalia is much worse. Now
I do have to defend him. I did forget to mention that sometimes the duck penises are barbed, and that was one of the big things that caused him to believe that the duck penises were worse.
I feel like that wasn't information that anyone needed that didn't want to go searching for this video. So moving right along, we have one more thing about geese. I believe it was geese. Might be ducks at this point.
It was geese. It was a goose in that story, yeah.
So I mentioned this conversation that we had to our father. And
great man, our father.
He is. And I started with the teeth thing. I'm like, I've learned something horrifying about geese. And he gives me this look. This look that says, like he's seen things, like he knows. And so I'm thinking, oh, he somehow knows about this already. And he's like, go on.
He's seen things.
He's seen things. And so he's like, go on. And I tell him the story. He's like, okay, all right. Yeah, no, that's weird and creepy. It's like, have I ever told you the story of when I fought a goose? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? No, this is a new story. I have never heard this story. So he proceeds to tell me this amazing story. So, years ago, when I was like an infant, so we're talking a few months old is all, Mom and Dad are relatively...
I was not existent. Yeah,
I'm the firstborn. Isaac wasn't born yet. Mom and Dad have been married for like maybe a year by this point. They had me early. So they're coming home from something. Mom and Dad are walking up to the house. They live in a little condominium somewhere. And they're walking up to the house. Dad's in front. Mom's behind with me in her arms. And from off their porch comes this giant freaking goose. And proceeds to act like our house is its territory. And Dad didn't realize this later, but the thing had decided to make our porch...
Didn't realize this until later. Sorry.
Yes, Dad did not realize this until later. But the goose had decided to make our porch its nest. So literally it had baby goose chicks on the porch, and it was standing between them, and it's being all menacing, and so Dad's standing between Mom and me. And so it literally is like this battle of wills that turns into an actual battle between two fathers preparing to defend their young.
I mean, the goose might have been a mom. I mean,
no,
dang,
Dad
two
seemed
parents.
fairly certain it was a male goose. I don't know why. I don't know if he got any information later, but
I don't know.
he talked about it like it was a male goose.
Okay.
Hold on. Anything here to say? Nope.
Nope. I just have to figure out. Hang on. I have to figure out where the crap I'm going now.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right. Here we go.
So apparently we need to go here. But so what happens is they try to get around the goose, try to like pacify, mollify, whatever. It's having none of it. And so what actually ends up happening is a cutscene, which may or may not have dialogue.
It won't have dialogue. Just keep talking, Darren.
That's a Robo Rampager. Sorry, Hunter, I guess. But it is. It's a giant mechanical one of those cat things.
Oh, it definitely is. Oh, and he actually uses his tail. All right.
With a macy tail swipe. Oh, that's gross. Anyway, so the goose begins to attack Dad. And it's like biting at him and swiping at him, whatnot. And Dad is at this point a recently ex-military martial artist.
Yeah.
Prime of his life.
Recently ex-Marine.
Recently ex-Marine, practicing martial artist, prime of his life, right? And so he starts like punching and kicking at this thing, knowing what he's doing. He's going easy because I don't want to hurt the freaking goose. Like somehow
He just wants to get it to go away.
Just wants to get it to go away, get it to scare it off, make it leave, and decide that his porch is not worth it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
But it is not going down, and it's like coming after him real hard. So he ramps up until he's finally going full ham on this thing. We're talking like full power roundhouse kick kind of combat stuff going, right? And he's thwacking this goose, and he's looking at me as he's telling me the story. He's like, I am genuinely surprised that the thing's neck did not snap. It took these shots that
Like
and then just like neck goes and then it gets back in place and comes after me. It's like something out of a horror film, right? Well, so they duke it out for a bit until finally Mom and Dad leave. They got chased off of their own property by a big old giant goose and end up sneaking around through the back door and calling the property owner to get rid of the goose, who presumably called animal control or something like that. And so, somebody came by and removed the goose, and that's when they found out that it had its chicks on there.
Young
and so
there.
it's like, I'm defending my home and my nest and my young.
babies.
But yeah, so this goose was determined and mean and tanky enough that he withstood a fit martial artist's attacks. And was like, no. Yeah. This nest and this porch are mine. And so Dad looks at me afterwards and is like, no, geese are freaking crazy. I'm like, I had no idea. I've never heard this story in my life.
Yeah, and like there's a part of me that wants to say, maybe once upon a time he told us that story, but I mean, I don't remember it any better than Taryn does. Like,
yeah, it's like if he did, we're talking we were little.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Oh, man. It's just so insane, though.
That's the most ludicrous story.
Just because, like, even now, like, I remember when I was a teenager, you know that, like, classic story of, in today's media kind of thing, where at some point during your life, you're going to look at your old man and you're going to be like, I could take him.
Which is funny because I've heard many a comedian story about this. Never experienced this situation myself. Never had any desire.
Whereas I have. I had that. Our father and I have always had been butting heads. Hang on, I have to find out where the crap I need to go again. Hang on. So this is. I apparently didn't break it.
Well, at least we know we're not too crazy. And now we'll see you back at the Smith before we continue the story.
I'm dumb. You want to know what's really funny? There was a person outside of my apartment who just yelled, "Yay!" as I broke it.
That's funny.
This is what you require. Good. Yes. Behold, Rider.
Behold, Rider.
On the skill of most makers, almost too fine for one such as you.
Ouch.
Tell me how to destroy the Abyssal Forge. Destroy the Hearthstone, of course. Consider it done.
Well, that was easy.
That was
Mad
nice and
Smith's
simple.
device. Crafted from Chaos Ore by the Mad Smith, this device allows its owner to cross the poisoned waters of the Shadowlands unharmed.
Oh, so I'm going to say you go to where that bomb area was.
Yeah, that's exactly where I need to go.
We'll be back.
Should we we'll skip there, yeah.
We have arrived.
All right.
So, Isaac was discussing...
Oh, I'm walking on top of it even.
Oh, you don't sink and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so I had that moment of looking at my dad and going, I could take him, you know. After he left the military and stuff, he gained a bit of weight. I mean, but he was still very strong and he knew what to do in a fight. I was a 15-year-old overweight, unathletic video game player who was like, yeah, I could take him. Never taken a martial arts class in my life. And he proceeds to... What?
The chest in front of on your left now is not on the map.
I know. It's not. It's very interesting.
Sorry. That distracted me. I was like, what?
No, I get that. But so I was like, hey, old man. Oh.
Ooh.
Abyssal axe.
That looks like a
In
hammer to me.
Right. In his seclusion, the Madsmith finally crafted an arsenal in which to arm his creations. A brutal axe capable of tearing armor asunder, its edges hell-bent on the very dismemberment of creation.
Its edges hell-bent so badly it became a blunt weapon.
I have to see if it actually shows up as...
Right? Is that it? Abyssal axe? Okay. Now that's an axe.
That is not the picture either in here or here that we saw.
Well, I mean, the picture of the actual item was a lot closer to that than the other. But yeah,
yeah, sure,
it's closer.
Anyway, apparently this is not where I'm supposed to be. But so I went up to him and I'm like, hey, old man, like, I think I could take you. And he's like, okay. And
wait, you had this conversation?
I'm pretty sure.
That's
and he
funny.
just chuckles. We go outside, and he proceeds to... He never hit me. He never punched me. He grabbed my hands and put me into multiple different holds and told me what the holds were as he did it. But I never came I think I might have landed one punch and that was it. But yeah, he just went grapple. This is this hold.
Isaac,
this is this hold.
Go down the long hallway.
Oh, duh. But yeah, he was like, this is this hold. This is this hold. This is this hold. I'm like, oh, you suck, and then I gave up. And I mean, I feel like I could take him now, but that's because the dude's had like 3 heart attacks and a stroke.
And he's in his upper 50s.
And yeah, exactly. He's in his like mid to late 50s, so it's not really a fair fight anymore.
That does remind me. I remember a conversation with a gym teacher I had. A gym teacher I had in junior high. There was. I don't remember why the entire class was sitting around talking with him as opposed to doing gym stuff, because he was actually a pretty good gym teacher. He made you go do things. But somebody asked that question and he's like, hey, do you think you could ever have taken your old man? And he proceeds to tell us this story. And I loved this teacher. He was great. He's one of the best teachers I've had, especially for a gym teacher, who aren't stereotypically known for being great people, at least where we're from.
Not to those who aren't, especially not to those who are not like, sports players.
Yeah. But he proceeds to tell the story about his dad, and the short answer was, He's like, no, I could never have taken my dad. I would never have like thrown down with him on purpose, like started that fight. Are you nuts? And he talks to us about it. And, you know, he's a gym teacher and he was also active when he was a kid. So it's like, but his dad was one of those people, you know, those people that are just ludicrously strong for no reason.
Yeah.
He's like, so I worked out. Like, I had things at home. I was, you know, personal gym, worked jobs, make sure I had equipment, be healthy, all that kind of jazz, right? It's like, my dad never did any of that. It's like, I will forever remember the day I was in there, you know, pumping iron, struggling as hard as I could to lift as much as I had at the time. And it was like, you know, and my dad walks by, comes in, he's like, you wuss, walks over, picks it up like it's nothing. He's like, work harder. And I'm like, you bastard. So that was his response. And so when the kid's like, he's like, yeah, do you think you could take him? He's like, no, there's no chance that I could have taken him. He's like, well, do you think you could take him now? He's like, yeah, because he's in his 60s or whatever it was at the time. He's like, yeah. Right. He's like, yeah, because he's in his 60s. Me now versus him then, there is not a chance. And that was this was his gym teacher. And I don't know, it was just a funny story.
No, I agree. Like that's exactly how I feel. It's like there is never going to be a level of fit that I am that will make it so that I feel like I could beat Dad at his prime.
Then I just have no desire whatsoever.
Well, like even if I did,
what just happened?
Huh?
We're back. He's gonna fix that glitch the game just did.
And don't get me wrong, like I have no desire to fight him anymore either. Like I have no reason to.
Is there an up?
It's there. I have no beef with him anymore.
Duh. Okay. There we go. Knew.
Yeah, I knew.
No, I was like, where do we go from here? What's next? I don't understand. And then you just did it. I'm like, oh, of course.
Duh. But yeah, so yeah, no, I don't have any desire to fight him now either. But if for whatever reason some time manipulation crap happened that gave me at whatever peak I hit, like throughout my life, if sometime down the line I go to a martial artist thing, I learn and I train and I get fit, and like end tier that versus Prime Dad was an option for whatever reason, I still don't honestly think I could take him.
This has always been a strange concept to me because I've learned in recent years via talking with Isaac and some hearing stories from other people. Like there was actually I think what started this conversation for us a while ago was there was a comedian we both listened to who is a dad.
Josh Wolf, hilarious.
He's got some pretty good stuff.
He and his son.
Yeah, he's talking about his son, and his son has like decided he wanted to throw down with him, and so it's this whole thing leading up to a fight. It's a completely alien concept to me. I never had that sort of, I don't know, animosity.
You never had that desire. Yeah, that's just it. You never had that animosity against Dad in any way, but you and he never didn't get along to the point that he and I didn't get along. You know,
and for you guys, it's not. Listen, yeah, these two are funny to me because we're
the same person.
It's
and
like
when I was younger, everyone
people,
would say,
but all of their like core characteristic aspects are the same. It's like you took two people and then reskinned them as different units. Like the same person reskinned them as
not
different
even
units.
reskinned. I look like him too. I saw a picture of him when he was in high school. He looks exactly the same as me. It's insane. Yeah. The only difference is the nose. Yeah. And
so it's like they're very different people,
I heard that
but
for
they
long
react
enough
to
when I
things
was
very different. They're the very same way.
Very the same way. But I remember hearing that when I was a kid, and that would just make it worse.
Yeah.
Because I already remember. Like we would already butt heads, and then I'd hear people like, "Oh man, you're just like your dad." Shut up! I'm nothing like my dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh snap!
Yeah, this is it, dude.
That Smith did not lie. His creation lives.
The Hearthstone looks like a brain.
Why build so many constructs?
It is my function. My progeny shall construct Abyssal Forges upon other
No.
a new race that shall inherit all of creation.
I will not allow that.
You are not like the Makers. You are neither evil nor good. What is your function?
Destruction. Death. I am death.
Yes.
I like that. That was actually pretty boss.
Begins with me. What is your function?
What
I
the
am death. Hit it! Hit it! Hit the rock!
Hit it in the rock.
Yep. Well, so yeah, so if you've ever met one of those people who reacts to things in a very similar manner to you, and so the things that you don't like about you bug you a lot about them, that was Isaac and Dad growing up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yoink, yoink.
I had to use the ability to yoink it.
that looks a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's the legitimate Heartstone. I don't know what the Brainstone is, but it's something different.
You know, I think that's what it is. I think it's the Brainstone. Oh.
Why? Why would you do that? That's just annoying.
Like, that's rude. Yeah.
Oh, and now there's just lava spurting up out of the floor too. Jeez, a whole lot of crap's happening in this fight.
Home. You're in my world now. I'm sorry. I feel like I stole your thunder there. Go on.
You're fine. But yeah, so like, it was exactly that, and Terran never had that. He and Dad are, I won't say nothing alike, but you know, they're very
significantly
different
less
people.
similar
They don't have. Yeah, certainly less similar than he and I are.
Looks like he should be doing a breath weapon there. Oh,
what?
He did. It just, the way he was like, it makes it look like he was trying to do a breath weapon or something, and then he did. So I was like, ah.
Yeah, he did. He was just charging something up. Bring your face back down here, you punk.
He's a fire in his meteor.
It keeps telling me to right trigger, and I don't know what it's trying to have me right trigger, but I really need to hit it next time.
Probably his face.
But yeah, so that was my fighting my dad story, and Terran doesn't have one.
Nope. I had plenty of that outside of home, but anyway, that's a whole different story.
I feel like no matter what, that's gonna happen with me and my kid, because I would like to, if they want to, I would like to go to martial arts classes with them. You know, a nice little.
Well, that's
a way
different.
to.
Though.
What?
I said, like, sparring is very different from trying to maul someone.
No, I know. But I still feel like that's exactly what's going to happen. Is if they were to be down for it, I feel like that would be a good way for us to stay fit together and to have some nice time together, just me and the kid, whether female or male. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at some point, if I'm taking them to do martial artsy things, that at some point they're going to be like, well, I'm younger and, you know, I've been doing this my whole life. He's only been martial artsing since, you know, I was born. Surely I can take him. You know? Feel like that's going to happen.
I don't know. You know, that does remind me of something, though.
What?
My boss was telling me about this. We were talking about the ludicrousness of various things on television. And he's talking about, it's like, I did see a show, though, just recently. It was like a one-episode thing. He's fairly certain that it was just like a one-off, because it felt very staged to him. But as a premise, it's something that's like, I could be down for watching a show like that. But the idea was, there's some jackhole who's bullying like a bunch of young kids, and so this show contacts him and is like, hey, and the deal was like they were gonna put him in the ring with someone, weren't gonna tell him who. It was like, but if you can go 3 rounds with this person, you don't have to win. Just go 3 rounds with this person, we will give you $10,000.
Oh wow!
And so the guy, you know, he's the kind of person who picks on little kids. So he's like, oh yeah, I think I'm, you know, he thinks he's the greatest and all that. And totally boss, and is like, yeah, no, I got this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And apparently it was. Can you like hop over the lava wave when he does that, or?
I had been, but apparently not.
Forget what I was saying. Oh, yes.
Yeah, kid gonna be beat up.
And so there was like a pay thing. Like you make it for the first round, you get 500. Second round, you get however much, and then if you do all three, you get 10,000, right?
Okay.
And so he gets out there, agrees to do it, and comes out, and it turns out that the person he's supposed to be in the ring with is some professional MMA fighter.
Okay.
And he's still just like, yeah, I got this and whatnot. And my boss,
Okay.
I don't think I've mentioned, I might have mentioned this before, I'm not sure what. My boss does MMA for fun.
Yeah.
He doesn't compete.
Your boss is insane.
he doesn't compete or anything. He's not like ludicrous. He's like, I have a family. I'm not going to go fight people for money. That's a horrible idea. But he does the training and whatnot and has all the skills. And so he's familiar with the process of combat.
Yeah.
Right? And so he's fully aware as he's watching this show unfold that the guy made it through the first round.
Oh, that's impressive.
The guy made it through the first round, and my boss is aware. Is like, yeah, but he was playing with him. Like,
Oh.
the MMA guy was playing with him. Let him get like a shot in here and there, and just danced around him, and just manipulated him around the arena. He had him in the palm of his hand the whole time. And so second round comes through, and at some point he just seriouses up and goes blah blah blah, takes him, puts him down.
Take them out, yeah.
Not nearly as badly as he could have, because for those of you who aren't aware, if you know what you're doing and someone you're fighting does not, you can injure them in life-ending, hospitalizing ways.
Oh, yeah.
This guy didn't do that. He just beat him. But, so, he just crushed him. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I could be down for some sort of show like that where just you have horrible people getting beat up by MMA fighters for money. Like, I could watch that. I could be down for this.
I feel like anybody could be, because awful people getting their comeuppance is just the greatest thing. I remember, that's right. That was the reason that Taryn started watching, not watching, but reading the story of the Shield Hero.
Yeah, so because anyone who's out there that's familiar with anime, there's one that's fairly big right now. It's called The Rise of the Shield Hero. Apparently it was based on a light novel. For those who don't know, real short version, the Shield Hero, the main character, has the biggest world dump taken on him in the first few episodes of anything I've ever seen. Isaac and I were talking about this later, because the only other person who had a horrible world experience we could think of was Guts from Berserk.
Yeah.
And
that might be able to match that, you know.
And overall, Guts' life is much worse. Like, just overall.
Oh, yeah.
The things he goes through are so much worse than what the Shield Hero goes through. But he's also...
he's also Guts.
Yeah. I mean, that's the simplest explanation. Guts could rip the world of Shield Hero in half on his own. So... Like,
he could sneeze on that planet and it would crack in half.
It's like there is nobody in this reality that is taking Guts, at least so far as I have read and Isaac and I have seen. So
and that we've seen, yeah.
Well, yeah. So at some point, I've heard about this, heard about it for a while. It's been going on for a while. You guys are, anyone who's out there is familiar. The show's been out for a little bit. Had no particular interest.
It's up to like probably 10 or 12 episodes by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah. Had no particular episode or interest in the show at first myself. Until I found out, what all the horrible things that happened to the Shield Hero guy were, and we won't talk about him just to not spoil it if you're interested.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it.
It's a pretty good show, by the way.
It's really good.
We've
Would recommend.
Been interesting it. Yeah.
I was an idiot. I could have just killed him there.
But what sparked the interest for me was when I found out that the people responsible for making his life the most miserable thing got some comeuppance in a pretty major way. And I was just sort of vaguely told about it. It's like, oh yeah, no, they get their comeuppance. Their world is rocked and ruined and whatnot. It's like they are given the opportunity to regret everything. And I'm like, That was my whole reason for wanting it. I'm like, I want to see what happens to these people. So I started reading it.
Yeah, so he started reading it before we even started watching it. He starts telling me about what he's reading, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to take the time to read it, but I would love to watch that. So we all started watching it, the three of us, together, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, good show. But yeah, I think it's funny you mentioned that. That is exactly how starting to go that.
Like, you literally started watching that, reading that, because you wanted to see bad people get their comeuppance. So it's funny.
It is done. Yes. And now, will you end me as well? Your broken mind is punishment enough, Smith. Don't make me regret my mercy.
Keep that pot of tea warm.
Time to make a new masterpiece.
Okay, maybe I should end you. All right. All
what
right,
did we
everyone.
just
Thank
say?
You. Oh, now it's a hammer. That's probably what that one actually looks like. The Madsmith built this hammer to aid in the construction of the Abyssal Forge. Imbued with dark energy, the hammer can shatter even the thickest armor and set all it touches ablaze.
I'm making a her face. All right, let's see this hammer. Is it actually a hammer?
Well, it's actually the picture we were shown of the Abyssal Axe, so yeah, I would assume it's actually a hammer.
Egad!
Yep, look at that. It's a hammer. We were just shown the wrong image of the Abyssal Axe. That's all.
I knew it looked like a hammer. I feel vindicated. All right, guys. So that leaves us with, I believe, just the Belial or whatever it's called DLC remaining.
Yeah, we just have one last DLC, and then we'll be done. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
The final of the actual main game, but
yeah, obviously beating the actual game and the Crucible. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to see more of this or any other video, let us know what you want to see in the comments down below. In the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons signing off. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like it, hit this subscribe orb.
to see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, go to the link on the left.
And for a video chosen by the gods of YouTube from our channel, hit that link on top.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.